Support for the show comes from Amazon Prime. You might think of Prime as only a way to get fast, free delivery, or maybe as the place to stream movies, shows, and sports. But it's actually way more than that. Maybe you've got a passion or a hobby. Prime can help you get the most out of it. Whether you're streaming documentaries on marine animals, ordering action figure stands with free one-day delivery, or finding the perfect playlist to impress that special someone, Prime makes it easier and faster to do what you love. Whatever you're into, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into. Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Serve, brought to you by Amazon Prime. Coco Gauff, your French Open champion this year. I am happy to be wrong with my prediction. I've always thought the world of Coco, and just you can't. Like, we can talk about, she's probably heard it ad nauseum from idiots like us. The forehand, the serve, they held up. What you can't teach and what we can't nitpick is her ability, that one more ball mentality, that one more ball back, someone hitting a big ball. She stayed the course and just toughed Sabalenka out. I mean, props to Coco, losing that first set in a breaker. I mean, the entire match was like a roller coaster. She won 19 more total points. She was the better player start to finish today. I think the wind was a net positive for Coco. You know, she hits that ball high, that heavy forehand up above the strike zone of Sabalenka, and that thing starts dancing. Anything that throws off the rhythm of a pure ball striker like Sabalenka, I feel, is to the advantage of Coco. I think she should have been pretty happy when they decided to leave the roof open. Outside of rain, I don't understand what the conversation is around closing the roof versus opening it versus for it's an outdoor tournament. Like, we're okay with wind. I am so happy for Coco. It's like that next step in just being kind of marching her way towards legendary status, you know, winning that first major. And then it wasn't easy from there, right? It's like her basement kept rising, right? It was like 4 in the world and we're going, oh, she can play better. That's how good she is, though. And then now she's 2 in the world, 2-time Grand Slam champion, French Open title. I think clay might be her best surface. I said it 2 days ago after she had won the semifinal, her most consistent surface anyways. But I just wish all good things for Coco, her family, her team. She goes about it the right way. Listen, the only reason any of us want her to win more is because we like and respect her. And I think it's just such a fascinating story. TNT hit the jackpot with this match. You know, this match, Jannik and Carlos in the final, Novak in the semis, that kind of hesitated walk-off last night where even Novak said, I don't know if I'll play here again. Just what a win of a tournament. What a win for Coco Gauff. It's just amazing. It's almost like she was in disbelief on that match point. She hit that high, heavy forehand that kind of fluttered. She thought she missed it. She almost stopped playing. And then Sabalenka just pulled that last backhand. And it's like, in the span of 3 seconds, you go from thinking that you miss a forehand and you're back to deuce and you hope you can serve it out to your life-changing. And now forever, she'll be a champion at Roland Garros. Forever, she'll be, you know, at least a 2-time slam winner, and this ain't going to be the end. You know, she can rely on her legs. Sabalenka stepping up. She's the only one that can catch up to her speed sideline to sideline, right? She doesn't like pace to the forehand on clay. It slows down a little bit, but she can take Saba's best shot on her backhand side. She doesn't like the pace to the forehand, but she takes pace on the backhand about as well as anyone in the world and can redistribute to Aryna. And Coco just did a masterful job of mixing up paces. High, kind of floating, heavy forehands, chipping on the run, using a backhand slice to bring not only Sabalenka side to side, but front and back. I just thought she played with the variance in the wind, and Saba just never really got totally comfortable. And it was just not dissimilar from their U.S. Open final, where Saba came out and was the better player in the first set, and then Coco just clawed back. That one more ball mentality. You learn that when you're 7, 8, 9 years old. That her base level of being able to get to that is just phenomenal. And she's such a great athlete and such a good person. This is going to be a very popular win around tennis. And Sabalenka, it's probably the most devastated I've seen her outwardly post-match. She always is respectful of her opponent. Imagine the disappointment when she loses that match. Second heartbreaking Grand Slam loss in a final in a row, but still goes over and gives Coco her respect. And even though she was down in that ceremony, she was still classy. I'm a bigger and bigger fan of Aryna's all the time for many reasons. And I hope it's tough to see the forest through the trees, but she's going to be your favorite going into Wimbledon. She's still the favorite in any tournament she enters. Well-deserved number one in the world, but this was Coco's moment.
Yeah, I mean, Sabalenka has made finals in 6 of the last 10 slams, right? And she's won half those and lost half those. And I think when you look at her numbers, like it's not like she's no longer the number one player in the world. I mean, it's ridiculous. She's made 2 finals so far, and who's to say she won't make the next 2 also, right?
Yeah, she's far and away the most consistent best player in the world, the most bettable entity still with this result. I mean, it takes Coco playing a phenomenal match. Coco protecting her second serve. She won 50% of her second serve points. You tell us that going in against Sabalenka, who just crushes second serve returns. That's a big number for her. That's a stat that probably won her the match. Her ability to defend her second serve against big hitters is probably her Achilles heel. But, Sabalenka gained points still. I mean, she's the clear-cut number one in the world, and that's probably the next thing that, Coco wants to go after. But post-U.S. Open last year, and props to Matt Daly and her team post kind of Brad Gilbert transition, they have done a phenomenal job, because through the U.S. Open last year, Coco was kind of up and down. She played great in Australia, was serving great in Australia, and then it wasn't easy last year in kind of the vacuum of winning that U.S. Open. She struggled some. It wasn't like it's been smooth sailing since then, but she is such a professional. Even when it's hard, you're going to get effort. Even if she's not feeling perfectly, she's going to show up. She's going to be a professional. She does all of the things that she has to do. And by the way, something we won't talk about enough. Have you ever seen Coco tired on the court? Ever?
It's absurd. It's absurd.
We talk about fitness, her fitness levels, and Aryna, by the way. Their fitness levels are through the roof. They played almost 3 hours of intense tennis today. Coco, I don't know that I've seen her frustrated. I've seen her angry. I've seen her timid, maybe not confident. Never questioned fitness. We don't even mention it. And she's covering some court. She was the one running, tracking balls down the entire time. And when you're playing against her, that has to be stressful mentally to know that you're not going to beat her based on physicality. Now, you might beat her based on X's and O's and merits and the whole thing, but she isn't going away. And her skill set defensively is phenomenal. And I'm just so happy for her team. The expectations they just seem outsized all the time. And I don't want to say unfair, because you create your own shadow. And the only reason any of us have expectations for Coco is because we know how great she is. And because we also know how great she is for the game. Like, we want her success because tennis wins when she's successful. She's such a good steward for the game. So I'm sure Aryna, in her biggest disappointment, would say, you know what, Coco's great for our game. I don't want to lose to her, especially in Grand Slam finals. But Coco is amazing for tennis. She's such a good person to be able to lean on for the health of our sport. And listen, I was one of the idiots in the kind of vacuum of Roger going away, of Rafa now leaving, of Novak saying, I don't know when I'm going to stop, of Serena going away, saying, we're going to have a lull. We're going to have to replace a lot of star power. And guess what? Carlos, Jannik, Aryna, Iga, Coco, they answer the door, man. Like, they answer the door in the vacuum of those superstars. And gosh, the tournament, listen, Coco wins, huge storylines. Novak's gone, doesn't know what's happening. Oh, and we still have a 1v2 final tomorrow with the new two, as Jim Courier likes to call them, which I think is so appropriate. The new two, Carlos and Jannik. And we're going to see Carlos hit those fadeaway backhands, mix up paces, hit those slices, hit those drop shots. He's going to try to like do what Coco did to Aryna today, right? Not let Sinner get, 3-4 balls in the same spot where we know he's effective. We saw what he was able to do against Novak, but there's no one who's better suited to kind of fight off Sinner's power. Similar to Coco is the best person in the world that fights off Aryna's power. And by the way, now she has a winning record against Sabalenka. Yeah, Mike.
So they were kind of talking in the postgame about the court conditions and the challenge. And obviously it started sprinkling and they were wondering, like, are they going to close the roof? Are they not? Tomorrow, if conditions are similar, who does that favor, right?
I actually think slower, colder conditions probably favor Sinner. I think Carlos does very well when the ball's able to jump. It's like everyone kind of lazily early on was like, well, Rafa is really good and, cold and slow. I'm like, he wants his ball jumping out of the zone. I think Carlos wants the ball jumping out of the zone. I would not think that Carlos wants that roof anywhere close to being closed. I think he wants the wind. I think when you're playing ball strikers, you want any sort of variable to make sure that they're not getting that sensory feedback of a ball well struck over and over and over again. That's what builds confidence.
It's so interesting.
So we'll see. I don't think it's crazy either way, but when Rafa lost in 2009 to Soderling, it was a cold, sprinkly, gross day, and he was up against a guy who can just crush the ball. I think Sinner wants the ball in his pocket a little bit more. He can create, more consistent speed off both sides, and Carlos wants the ball dancing. He wants it to get up and out of the zone. He wants to switch directions. He wants it to be kind of dusty with footwork too, to where it's slippery. If it's sprinkling and gets muddier, that's a little bit more stable footing for Jannik as opposed to the dry, slippery when the ball's jumping. I think that would favor Carlos. But I mean, I just can't wait. This tournament's been like a 12 out of 10. I mean, imagine being the new kid on the block with TNT and coming in and getting these matchups right away.
It's unreal.
It's pretty great. Can't wait to get up in the morning. Got to be honest, pretty big fan of like 9 a.m. Let's watch Slam finals. Don't hate that.
Yeah, get your day over.
I don't hate that at all.
That was like when I lived in LA and literally I was a Bengals fan, which still am sadly. And I'd wake up at 10 a.m., watch a game, be done, be on the beach by 2 o'clock. Like, I like this.
Rough, Mike.
Nice.
Rough. What'd you do today?
It was rough. We lost.
Little golf to the office. Little quick podcast. Sell some merch.
Yeah, sell a little bit of merch. By the way, thank you everybody who's been grabbing up some merch. Really appreciate it.
Mike's so happy.
The socks will be online soon. The socks are having some issues apparently, but socks will be there. If you haven't seen the socks, go check them out.
All right. Well, we got nothing else going. I cannot wait. Congratulations to Coco Gauff. I'm happy for tennis. I'm happy for her because I just like and respect her so much. And I think she takes a lot of criticism all the time because she is wildly famous and wildly successful and wildly marketable, and we wildly need to talk about her all the time. And therefore, it probably leans to the point where she's sick and tired of hearing from us. And you know what? Happy to shut up. Happy to. Way to go, Coco. You're a champion, Roland Garros champion, US Open champion. Second of many more, I think. And props to Aryna Sabalenka, hell of a run. Thanks for watching Quick Serve, brought to you by Amazon Prime. We'll see you tomorrow. Sinner chicken dinner and the Chuckster, Carlos Alcaraz. Support for the show comes from Amazon Prime. Prime is more than just fast, free delivery. It's your go-to for streaming music, movies, and sports. Plus, it's also a great way to connect with the things you love. Into skiing? Stream ski films on Prime Video even when the slopes are bare. Love fishing? You can get new gear delivered fast and be back by the water in no time. Planning your next big trip? Prime helps you get everything you need faster than you can write your out-of-office email. Whatever you're into, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.